welcome everybody to the second program, Power of Life. Are we going to talk about the passion is and how important passion is in our lives? And today, my guys, is special guys, California TV stars, blam 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 blam, Mike Briggs.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Mike, thank you. Then you take my invitation.
Of course.
We are so glad. You are for me like Leonardo da Vinci. You know why? Because versatile and talented person. You have a musical education. You play many instruments. And you are interested in world history and geography, literature. And you are also the originator and CEO of the Central Valley Talk Show. You are very talented. It's really like Leonardo da Vinci. Congratulations. And tell me, please, when maybe about music we start, about your education?
Well, I sometimes think of myself as a Renaissance man.
Yes.
That's what you call Da Vinci, right? He did so many things. He was an inventor, he was an author, and an artist and a sculptor. He did everything. And I do a lot of things. I specialize in a lot of things, not just as hobbies, but I really, really get into those. And the first was, I guess, when I was in college in the 80s. I was studying. First, I studied real estate, and I got a degree in that. Then I was studying journalism. Then I was studying business. And then I stumbled into music. And I'd always played the guitar a little bit, you know, nylon string guitar, classical guitar. And I signed up for a class just as a, what do you call, an elective. And I took the class and I excelled at the class. And I practiced and practiced and practiced. And I could read music, so I excelled very quickly. And I practiced music maybe 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day.
Wow.
So, you know, I think it's Malcolm Gladwell said, if whatever you do for 10,000 hours, you become an expert.
Yes.
So I set out to get my 10,000 hours in. And by the time I got my business degree, I was playing guitar very, very well, like a professional level.
What kind of music you play?
Classical, flamenco, Spanish-style guitar. So now, when I graduated with my degree in business, my father expects me to get a job, right? So I didn't want a job in business. I wanted to keep playing the guitar. So I said, Dad, I'm going to stay and get my master's. As long as I'm in college, I could stay in college. But when I'm out of college, he expects me to go to work. So I stayed to get my master's and got my bachelor's degree in business. I studied for my master's in music. And during that period, I went out and developed a marketing system to market myself. And by the time I got my master's degree, I was playing, I don't know, every single day someplace, playing music, performing music. So, and I continued that career for 15 years.
Great. So. And what about your Central Valley TV show?
Well, it's a long story. That's kind of the end of the story. In between, well, I was a musician, and I only work 2 hours a day. So that means I have the rest of the day to practice and prepare and play scales and arpeggios and things. I had a lot of free time, is my point, because I only worked 2 hours a day. And I had a little baby at home. My wife went to work, and I took care of the baby, gave a few guitar lessons during the day, but the rest of the time, I lived right here in the Tower District, in Fresno's Tower District, and I would go out and I'd organize the neighborhood into neighborhood watch groups and get neighbors to kind of look out for each other. We'd have block meetings, and I organized my block, and then I went and organized the next block to me, and then the block behind me. Pretty soon, the whole Tower District, we had organized a neighborhood watch.
Great.
And still being a musician, and so I always say I had so much free time I got in trouble. What I did, I got in trouble and got elected to the city council because I was organizing all the safety and getting rid of graffiti and organizing neighborhood watch. So from there, I went to the city council. From the city council, I was elected to the state legislature. And when I got out of the legislature, I still had a lot to say on policy and how government should be run. And also, I wanted to find a way to celebrate what's good about Fresno and the Valley. So I told my children, and my son was 14, I said, build me a radio station, but on the computer that we could broadcast on the internet.
Pastor. Mm-hmm.
So they spent the whole summer doing it. My son was 14. By the end of the summer, he had developed what we have here. Look, it's television, right?
Great job. Congratulations.
And that's how we developed Central Valley Talk. And I would go on every day with a little talk show. But then I wanted to open it up to more people. Like I say, we want to celebrate what's good about life and what's good about our community. And that's where Central Valley Talk was born 13 years ago now.
Oh, we celebrate today.
Good.
Great. Second question, which of the passion you enjoy right now the most?
Well, Central Valley Talk is a passion project for me, but I also love to study history. I read multiple books every day on history, and so I've been working on a second master's degree, which I completed last week. I finished another master's degree.
Wow, bravo,
this one in
bravo.
history. So, as you probably know, a master's degree isn't just like reading and taking a test. It's writing and finding original sources and vetting out facts that maybe aren't known yet by people. And so I spent a lot of time on that. And so that's been my passion project, getting this studying history for the last little bit. So
This is amazing topic for next my show. I invite you and we're talking a little bit about history. It's my education part 2,
yeah.
and we show the people what is important and how history work in the world. And history is the circle, many times repeat and the same
That's a good way
time,
to put it.
the same level. Maybe we're just talking about epidemic and pandemic in the world because we have this background, and we know how many times this maybe just last epidemic and pandemic. We're talking after this show. And we promise to you come back and we just explain you everybody how many times we have epidemia, pandemia. If you learn this, you are much more safe and you have peace and calm.
I like what you say. It's a circle. History is a circle. Yeah.
Yes.
People say, "Why study what's old?" I said, "No, it comes around and again
Always
and again."
repeat. Yes. What is motivation to you, and what's motivation you the most when about your job and life?
Well, I wake up motivated. I've never, people always say, "Mike, I'll come by and talk to you. When are you not busy?" I go, "I'm busy every minute.
Yes.
Every minute I think of something to do, to create, to build, an idea to follow up for Central Valley Talk, or an idea to follow up for my real estate company. I just am so self-motivated, and which leaves me without the ability to relate to people who are not motivated. Because I have a job where I have to motivate a lot of people.
Yes.
And I don't understand when people aren't motivated. Like maybe there's $100 laying on the ground and they won't walk over and pick it up, And it may not be $100, but if you make a little effort, you can make another $100. So I wake up motivated. I don't know what causes that with me.
You have big power of life because you have passion in life. And when we have passion in life, we every day wake up and we want doing something.
Yeah.
And you want doing and follow your passion, and this is completely amazing, and I am so happy. Then you open this TV here and you show the people what is important here in Fresno community and Clovis community, all this area, and you're doing something extremely amazing because you collect the people from art, from musician, writers and people who doing a good job for the city.
Well, one thing about, and by the way, Kate gives me a lot of advice, whether she knows she does or not. She's always telling me something that I take to heart.
That's right.
One thing about being overly motivated all the time, I see opportunity everywhere I look. So that means every day I only get to pick 2 or 3 opportunities when I see 100 opportunities. So every day I always leave an opportunity on the table. So it's kind of a curse. It's a good and also a little bit of a curse that I can't turn it off.
For me, you are like businessman, you are like psychologist, you are like priest for the people. Is the mixed and the mic brain? How do you feel with this? Because you give wings to many people, to many businesses. You show the businesses what's doing properly. And you are always smile You have always the good energy, and if you want increase your business, please contact with Mike, because Mike help you. Everybody, me too. And I just want to tell you thank you for this
It's my pleasure.
lovely pressure to me,
Yeah.
doing. And I think the younger generation, older generation might give the wings and possibility to open the businesses and advertise the businesses, because you always show the good part
Good
of
part,
us
yeah.
business.
We do, yes.
You are extremely active during the day. How useful is planning and discipline in your life?
I really, I really compartmentalize my life. So, and I do what I call systems development. Everything I do is by a system. So we have maybe 15 talk shows every week with different hosts and different guests. And if I spent even 10 minutes with each host and each guest, that'd be like 6 hours just saying hi to people all week.
Yes.
So I really have to compartmentalize. I try to make everybody contact me by email, so I can either do a quick response or forward the email to one of the people that work here or something like that. So everything has to be compartmentalized, and there's no like a lot of back and forth on these planning things. But I also make sure every day about 10 a.m. I go to the gym. Whether I'm tired, whether I'm happy, whether I feel good, I go for about an hour and a half every day. So once you make commitments like that, I'm going to go to the gym at this time every day, then other things start falling in place around it. But it's those people who don't plan some of their day that everything just goes crazy all the time, and you don't go to the gym because you got too busy or you got too tired. So it's important to have things in your day that fall at the same time, the same place, with organization, and then everything else falls in place around it.
Sometimes I feel, and when we don't have plan and discipline, we lost many hours a day. And when we have plan, you just wrote every point by points. We save the hours, we save the time to go to the gym,
Yeah.
spend time with family, with friends, and we never nothing lost, and we never nothing forget, which is
Right.
the most important, because the brain work, very quickly, something happened a day, and we just lost the information. But the plan is very important.
Plan's always there, yes.
Especially in business relation, we know how this work when we have plan and just doing, we're just doing finish, and finish.
Well, it's easy without a plan to have something else come along that's more important. Like, oh, this is more important than the gym, so I won't go to the gym. You can't do that. You need to say, I'm going to the gym every day. Every Sunday I go to my mom's. She knows I'm coming, and something always comes up. Somebody calls and says, Mike, let's go to brunch. I said, nope, this is my plan. I'm going to stick with it. And still, everything falls in place around it. It works. So.
Because when we have plan, we save the life.
Yep.
We save the energy, and we management the life. What is the most important to take the good life and be happy.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And never lost your gym. The exercise is very important because we develop the hormones of happiness, and we exactly need to be flexibility for some reason, because the job in media, like you work in TV, is extremely difficult, and you need to give energy for everybody when you meet or where you work. Believe me, guys, it's not easy, and Mike always has positive energy, and every day, every time, anytime when we come here, he just smile and he give us happy time.
It's interesting, during the last year, the gym, for example, hasn't been that easy. So I said, no worries, I have all the equipment here at home, here at my studio, here at CentralValley. But it doesn't work that way. I need the compartmentalization of going to the gym. And so it's been a weird year for that kind of, a lot of people, I bet, didn't get their exercise and get to work out like they usually do.
Now we come back to normally life. We come to the gym, we just exercise, and we need to doing just every day, just walk 2,000 steps or 5,000 steps a day. This help increase your level of happiness, but you be much more flexibility and healthy, and you have more oxygen in your blood, and your brain work better. This is not just, we don't lose the time when we exercise, and we need to thinking.
Right.
And I am so glad then you come back for exercise, because this is important. You have much more positive energy.
Well, I've got a secret I'll tell you about. I like to go to the gym, and I like to read books. So now on my phone, I lost my phone, but I listen to the book on the phone at the gym. So I get to do two things at once.
When I walk, I listening to English language, and I just learn more what's mean, because I think you have the same addiction like me. We don't want lose no 1 hours. And when we go for training, we just want doing something. We don't read because it's impossible to exercise and read. But I think, Mike, you like me, when I go for a long walk, I just listening the English language, the lesson, you listening the books. It's very good. What you have 2 in 1.
Also, I can't stand to be bored. So if I'm exercise walking and I get bored, then I'll just go home. But if I got a book or something extra to keep my brain a little bit stimulated, it
10
helps.
minutes more, because the books finish 10 minutes more. I know this addiction. It's what is your recipe for keeping such good energy? Because this is my next question, what we just talking about. Because working in TV every requires a lot of commitment.
Right. You know, I just I organize things so I leverage my time with other people. So I used to sit where our technician Michael is over there, and I did that, and I did the interviews, and I did the booking, I did everything. But learning to leverage and let other people, trust other people to take over, gives you a lot of free time, and it saves a lot of your energy. So we have a great technician here making pictures show up and stuff with us, and we have a guy outside booking the guests right now. So it's important for to not try to do everything yourself.
What mean you are the good manager in your company, and you trust the people. And I need to tell you, everybody, then the trust to people, it's not easy. And management is not easy. If we have good employees, it's the paradise, what I wish everybody. And you learn how to management the people, how to give the job everybody. And how many years you learn this? You are always trust the people?
No. I just, as I'm getting older, especially where my energy is lower, naturally lower, I'm learning to delegate, let other people handle stuff, and also just to walk away sometimes, from things that not everything's so important all the time.
This is the most important. When we want to save the energy, we need to learn how to dedicate the job to everybody in home, in his office, and we have more time go to the gym and read the books or doing etc. etc. Who is your favorite writer, and why the most favorite book?
Well, I years ago read a book by Leon Uris called Exodus, and it sparked this historical thing in my head. And the book isn't exactly historical, but it's about a historical time when after World War II and the birth of Israel as a country, and people leaving Europe, fleeing Europe, and other oppressive places, looking for a place to go, and they're all settling in Israel. And, it really sparked my interest in studying history and things like that. So Leon Uris, I think it's Uris, U-R-I-S.
Yes.
So he, great author. So I read some of his other books. But lately I've been reading history. And I brought some that I'm reading. This, I just finished Grant by Ron Chernow. Now, I was in New York at Grant's tomb, because I'm a historian. I went to Grant's tomb. I'm there and studying Grant's tomb. And there's a sign that said, tomorrow the author, Ron Chernow, will be here with his book, Grant. It was just, I happened to be in New York, and he just happened to be there. And I met with him. I got my book autographed. I think I have a picture. There's him signing my book for me, Ron Chernow. So I love to study the history and meet the author. And so I don't just read his book on Grant. I read a whole bunch of books. Well, there's an autographed inscription on the inside. So I have another favorite author Doris Kearns Goodwin, and she's around the time of Lyndon Johnson. She's still around now. She's on. There's her signing my book too. I got to meet with her. I love to meet the authors. And they're very famous historic authors, authors of history, I should say. And she has written a lot of books, but now she's on the History Channel doing interviews, and she pops up as a historical expert. So these are some of my favorite books and authors. And right now, history is all I read about.
This is your passion, and you have the big library, what I really enjoy. And the time I visit here in studio, and it's many kinds of different books, but the topic historical always is the first.
These are. We had books everywhere, all back there, all over here, upstairs, everywhere. And I started purging about 2 years ago. It was very hard for me to let go of a book. But finally I have to say I'm never going to read that book again. I loved it. And so I'm blessed somebody else with the book. I've given away hundreds or 1,000 books in the last couple of years. What you see here are the ones I could not bear to to part with. So I still do research and writing in history. So I need some of them for my research. But others just because I like to go back to them.
Great. I tell you, this is amazing when you have the many historical and important books, and you share the books with everybody. What's doing? My grandmother have 10,000 books. She shared the book for the people, and when we're doing this, we just teach the people how to change their life, because the biography and historical books change the life for many reasons. Who is your favorite writer and why? The most favorite book? You just show me this book.
Going back to the one I said, Leon Uris, the book Exodus, I think it was an important book for the time, and it was well written. But I've been reading, enjoying reading a lot of different authors lately. So I don't know if I settled in on a favorite, but I always go back to that as my favorite, Exodus.
Just historical topic.
Yes. Well, I was reading... there's an author, maybe he's an astrophysicist, Niels deGrasse Tyson, and he wrote a book like Physics for, I don't want to say for dummies, but physics for people who don't have time to study physics. And it's just fascinating how it tells about how our galaxy was formed, how the Earth was formed, and how we all came to be here. And I enjoy reading that book. Niels deGrasse Tyson. I've just been reading books by Malcolm Gladwell, and he talks about, like I say, the statistics, how you become an expert at something like that. So there's so many topics out there, but I just keep drifting back to biographies and history is really my favorite.
What kind of music do you prefer, and who is your favorite composer?
If I choose one to listen to, it's usually Chopin on piano pieces by Chopin.
Polish.
Oh yeah, Polish. That's right. And I love to read about Chopin and know everything about him. What a fascinating person. And I call it. I don't know if it's proper. I say he has that Polish sound. Just the way the music, the notes clash and resolve. It's so beautiful. And I don't hear anybody who's not Polish compose that way. So I love to listen to Chopin. I've been listening a lot to Beethoven's symphonies. I like the even ones, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9.
Yes.
The other ones are a little more boring to me. I listen to opera a lot.
Especially when Beethoven lose his hearing. And the last nine symphony he wrote when he don't hear nothing.
Could not hear anything.
And
That's right.
maybe we open the show when we just talking about composer. We need to thinking about this. The live composers, it's amazing. It's like Chopin, Beethoven, Bach, Vivaldi. This will be very nice topic for people when we just share information and show him the music.
Right. One of my passions now is playing shuffleboard. It's on a table. You push the thing. It's an old man's thing, you guys. But I compete in shuffleboard, and it's at a place like a beer bar, and there's a jukebox. And I don't like all the kids put on this crazy music, so I try to get control of the jukebox. And then when I have that control, I play music from the 1960s, rock and roll music from the 60s. I like to play that. I like to play Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton and the Hollies and some groups like that too. So I'm not totally a square with just classical music.
Great.
But I'm stuck in that 60s genre.
And you tell me then you play flamenco.
I am. I studied with flamenco guitarist Juan Serrano. When I got, for years I studied with him, and I was his assistant and helped him with his businesses and his music, and I assisted him when he was a professor at Fresno State. Juan Serrano, the flamenco guitarist, and of course I learned flamenco guitar. I have a master's degree. I don't think I'm a master flamenco guitarist, but that's some of the music I studied. So.
This touched me a lot because I dance flamenco.
Yeah, I know.
One day.
One day we'll do something together.
One day. Speaking of history, which of America's outstanding personalities inspires you the most?
Well, I study historical character, so I used to like to study Teddy Roosevelt a lot. You always talk about energy. This guy had so much energy.
Yes.
He would just, and he would attract people around him because of it. And he had these great ideas. He'd say, we're going to do it. And sometimes by saying you're going to do something, you're more likely to do it than if you just say, well, let's see what we can do.
I like his phrase, what he explained. If you don't know how to doing, you just accept place where you are and doing what is possible to do in this place.
Right.
When I come to America 5 years ago, this is my favorite sentence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Teddy Roosevelt said, we're going to dig a canal through Panama so people could cross from the Pacific to the Atlantic, and sometimes just deciding it is the first step. And he got that done. But he had a lot of energy. And he was young. I mean, he was died when he was 60 years old.
Yes.
And he was off studying the Amazon. After he left the presidency, he lived 10 years till he was 60. Went to Amazon, went to the Amazon River, and went to Africa, and went on safaris and stuff like that. So I like to study him because of his energy.
My favorite is George Washington.
Well, yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
I've been in his house close to Washington,
In Mount
D.C.
Vernon, yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Do you like cooking?
Yes.
Wow.
Funny you should bring that up, because I live here now, but I had what I called my ranch in the country, a 5,000 square foot house with a giant kitchen, and I cooked every day. And I had family, of course, 3 kids who've all moved away to New York City, so now I have nobody to cook for. But not only the 3 kids were always there, but it seems like 10 more kids were always there at dinner time too. And every night I like to just go home, look to see what I have in the pantry and the fridge, and start creating something. I did that every night for years and years and years. It was my passion. So.
And what is your favorite dish?
It's simple, but I cook a lot of spaghetti. I like to make the sauce
Italian.
and put things in the sauce. Yeah, Italian cooking. But I make tacos a lot. I mean, they say tacos Mexican. It's really American, tacos and spaghetti. It's very American type of cuisine.
I don't know how to make tacos, but I know how to make spaghetti. I invite you for spaghetti.
I love spaghetti. I haven't had it, but I stopped cooking. I cook zero now. After years and years and years of cooking, I cook zero. I came here and lived here in the Tower District on purpose, and every day there's a different restaurant out there to eat.
You eat outside?
Every day, yeah.
What is your biggest dream?
Well, I really think that eventually, my dream is really to make enough money so I could just relax and travel. This company runs really well. I mean, the great people we have pushing all the buttons and doing the stuff here. I think I might be able to start leaving and traveling a little bit and taking vacations. Not vacations, but just go to other places and experience other places.
Historical trip.
Yeah, I don't like to especially vacation. I like to go and experience.
Yes.
Get on the ground and walk with the people. I went to Japan, and every day they were taking us here and taking us there, taking us there. Finally, the last couple of days, I snuck away. I just walked up and down the streets. It was so beautiful.
The country, the city, yes, and the energy, the people,
right.
Just in the street.
Yeah.
I like to go to New York, any places, Washington, D.C. I just sit, I buy the tea, and I just sit and drink the tea, and I watch the people who follow the street. And
I'm a people watcher, too. So.
Me too.
My kids who live in New York, they always tell me you could tell the tourists, because the tourists are all looking up.
Yes.
And the people who live there are looking down, keeping track of where they are.
And tourists in New York City work very slowly, but the people who work or studies, students work very, very faster, because always need to be.
Yeah.
New York is very faster city.
I saw an interview the other day with an actress who was in 2 plays at once. So she was in this play, and then an hour later she was in this play, and she'd have to zip from this one over to that one, a couple blocks apart. She said she'd yell, "Tourists, move to the right. let the natives walk on the left. And she'd do that every night. Sure, the tourists would move over, and it's good. So
It's good. Nobody share the street too much. Yes, but tell me about your favorite place in Europe. Do you visit Europe?
I've never been to Europe yet, but I've sent 3 people to Europe. 3 kids have gone to Europe. So my daughter got to do 2 semesters in Florence, and each of the other kids went for periods. And so they owe me a trip, I think, to Europe.
Oh, definitely. Welcome to Poland. You'll be my guest. We go to Paris, we go to London, and I show you the Florence, the Italy, and maybe Praga. It's beautiful. Or Praga, Vienna, Budapest is the trip, historical trip, and the Poland. Poland have many history. And Chopin House in Żelazowa Wola, close to the Warsaw. I think you will be enjoy this.
Yeah, I'd like to see all of that. Everything you mentioned, I want to see. I now, because of DNA tests, ancestry, I find out I'm really Scottish, really, really Scottish. So I need to get over there and see Scotland. That's for sure.
Scotland is beautiful. Have beautiful people and the beautiful nature. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And whiskey too,
right.
Of course.
Yeah, but like I said, I just want to go and be there. Maybe I could get a little teaching job and teach American history in one place and move to another place and teach or something, and just really live in these different places.
This is the best idea for you. Welcome to Poland. I connect to you with Polish University in Krakow, Jagielloński, Uniwersytet Jagielloński, and you have possibility doing lecture about America.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And in London, in Cambridge University. Wow.
I would like that.
Okay, I stay here. I take care for TV, and you go.
You take care of CentralValleyTalk.
Historical.
Make sure it keeps going.
We share a little bit. Okay, guys, we're doing good job today. Tell me about future the Central Valley talk show.
We are, we started with one show, and that was me talking about the news and what's going on in the news, and I didn't know where it was going to go because I thought by being on a talk show, I would get advertisers and sponsors, and we'd make a lot of money doing that. After about a year, I realized nobody's going to give me money. They're not giving me money to listen to me talk. So I had an idea that we would let other people talk, let other people have shows. So that's what we're working on right now, is expanding, letting more and more and more people come in here and have a talk show. And that's what I see as the future. And I always say we're here to celebrate what's good about Fresno and celebrate what's good about the Valley. And there's so many great stories out there. People doing, there's theaters, musical theater across the street. There's another theater that does what we call straight shows right over here. There's live music all over the city, and I want people to come and talk about that. What's going on? We have a Discovery Center here in Fresno where people can go and do experiments and play science and stuff like that for the little kids. There's all these great things going on, and I want Central Valley Talk to serve to spread the word of all the great things going on around here.
This is the best idea ever I listening, and I just want to tell you thank you, because you invite the people and you connect the people and you connect this energy to people. You give him wings. It's like, I think the generation feel like have the best opportunity here for everybody to open businesses. Just go here and show the people what we're doing the best in this community.
Yeah. Right. And I encourage people just to turn on Central Valley Talk. You can watch it now on your television, your smart TV. You could turn it on. You could put it on your phone. You could put it on your pad or your computer, and you don't have to sit and watch, all day long. You just have it on when you're doing your housework or you're doing your cooking. That's why I keep it on. I call it background sound.
Yes.
Every once in a while, something interesting comes on. Kate comes on and talks about seniors, and somebody comes on and talks about a thing going on at Fresno High School. I just leave it on. It's great news and information throughout the day on your community.
And this information you select, like you have the program, and every day you have different topic.
Different topics every day, yeah.
Tell me about these topics. Who won't come to you and doing the interview?
Well, we have these shows, by the way. We call them our business shows. And anybody can come on that show. You came on it, I think. and you come on and you get to talk about for 10 minutes about your business, about your service you provide, or about an event you have coming up. And we call those the business show, the art show, the author show, the real estate show. And those are little 10-minute interviews. And then we have other shows like this one, Active 50 TV. It's an hour-long show and goes really in-depth into things, which is great. We have a bunch of those shows. We have the Method is coming on tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and Stephanie Du Bois talks about things she has going on and ideas she has. And we have a show. Chris DeVold does a show on local music and local activities. So there's a whole bunch of different shows that really highlight very cool things. Also, the shows like Kate's show really helps you maybe discover things about yourself, about how to bring back your energy, how maybe you should or could be exercising. Kate explains how it's not so hard. Just walk a little today, walk a little further tomorrow, get up to 2,000 to 5,000 steps. Very commonsensical approaches to ourselves. So.
Because you are the best master, and I think it's time for you write the book, and you will be the best author for all of us to teach about history, how history changed your life to your business. And when you read the biography and history, how you learn a lot, and you have possibility open your business, be good mother, father, and be good manager in your family. And Mike is the masters for many businesses. It's like you give the blessing for each businesses, and they give the wings, and you support many businesses.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. We have, it just popped in my head another, you said history goes in a circle. About a year and a half ago, I was studying, doing my genealogy, trying to find where each relative it was, and I found a whole bunch of my relatives ended up in Holly Springs, Mississippi. A whole bunch of them were there in 1870. So the census comes out every 10 years in the United States, and you get to find out where people were 10 years later. Well, 1870, there were 200 of my relatives in Holly Springs, Mississippi. In 1880, they were all gone. And it caused me to research what happened in 1870 to 1880. Actually, it was 1880 to 1890. Anyway, 1887, it was the Spanish flu.
Oh, yes.
So I'm studying the Spanish flu and how it caused a lot of people to die, either die or to move, to relocate to somewhere safer. And right when I'm in the middle of that research, here comes the COVID-19. And stories I was reading in that 1887 account were happening again in 2020. And it was amazing how the history just came and circled around. So a lot of lessons to learn in studying history.
I doing same because I have historical education and background. I just start to study how many times we have the history of epidemic and pandemic. And just I studied 10 last epidemic. And maybe one day we're doing show and I explain to people what's happened, how many people died, and how people survive. And when COVID come, I feel very safe because we have the shower, we have water, we have food, we have a roof. We don't need to go wash the dresses in the river. And I just imagine then this situation, of course, is not easy for us. But when we read more history, we learn that what I have now saved my life, and I just need to wait, make time, and feel safe, much more than people 100 years ago.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. Now we have our own tools to fight it, like doing our laundry and things like that. And what we have now is we know what causes it. But the last time, 100 years ago, they didn't even know what caused it or how it spread, or that you had to wash your hands. So, interesting.
How we need to go to the garden, make the carrots and potatoes, and just make the lunch or dinner. We don't have a grocery shop, and we don't have possibility buy food, what we just put to the microwave. And we have just now amazing life. We just need to enjoy and be grateful for everything what we have. And
as you say that, I'm thinking now in 20 and 40 and 60 years from now, people are going to be looking back to our period to see how we handled
Yes.
this epidemic, and they'll probably go, oh my gosh, I can't believe they weren't more careful or something. I don't know.
I am very interested what kind of iPhone or phone we have
We're going to have,
next
yeah.
50 years. Probably we are not here, maybe, because I want to live 100 years. And I training people to about longevity, but maybe not. Who know? Only God know. How look the phone or TV or the channel,
Yeah.
a news channel in TV. I believe then one day we just stop talking. We just have connection when we see
yeah.
somebody in the eyes and we read everything.
We know. The one thing I don't do with my phone is make phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
But I use it as such a powerful communication device to send the text, to send the email, and even, sometimes I have 1 minute break for a commercial and I could respond to somebody, but I couldn't call them. There would be no time. But the communication is going so fast. So I like you, who knows what's going to come up. I would never have predicted that I'd have a phone that I didn't make phone calls on, but I take the pictures and send faxes and send emails. It's amazing.
And I tell you just something for younger generation. We never, when I am teenager, we just have dream, then we have phone. And we have next dream when we have this phone, we have the dream and maybe one day we just have phone without cable. And next dream is maybe one day when we call somebody, we see this person. And now we have this. We have Skype, we have Zoom, we have phone connection, and we have many things too. And when the COVID come, please be grateful. Then we have connection with everybody because many centuries ago, the people just need to take the horse and go with letter. What we write now, it's easy to 1 minute and we send the SMS and we have connection with all family, all friends, and we are not lost. What we think, then we are lost. But believe me, not.
When in the 1960s, I went to Disneyland and they had this camera phone.
Yes.
One, my family stand at the other, I stand at the other. We could talk to each other and see each other. And even 10 years ago, I didn't imagine that we would have that in our pocket to be able to do that. So it's amazing. We've seen a lot, huh?
Yes. My generation, us generation, is very lucky and happy because we live when the century change and we have something extremely amazing. When we are children, we never believe. I am from Poland, and we have after Second World, and we have the communism time, and when come Coca-Cola and this McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Oh wow! Something. Yeah. When we eat the hamburger, it's amazing. When we open Coca-Cola, we feel like God. Yeah. We have only in Easter and Christmas time we have the channel when we watch the Disney TV. Only 2 times per year, wow. And we wait from this time, and we be so amazing, grateful. We just be very polite for parents because maybe close TV and we don't watch. And I remember this time. Yeah. And many historical topic what we have, and when we show the people, maybe increase your life, and you will be grateful for everything what do you have. And today, when I finish, I just want to tell thank you so much, Mike. Help the businesses, help the people, and show to everybody, not just business, but human being, to all in the world, because it's not just in Fresno and Clovis. You show the world how amazing is people, how this job the people, it's very important to make the city, make the country, make the human life be better. Yeah. We are so grateful to you.
I love this show. I watch it now it's on Wednesdays at 2, and another one very similar you have on Thursdays at 2. So yes. It's tune in and watch.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. And thank you. Then you have time to come to us, and thank you for this time. I know you are very, very busy, but please enjoy the time and listening to Mike Briggs. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on your show. I'm very happy to have been
so
here.
happy we shared the places today. Normally I sit here and Mike sit here, and today I take your place.
We switched.
How do you feel when you are the guest?
I was nervous to come on the show, so now I know how my guests feel. They look a little panicked. Why would they be nervous? But now I know.
Okay, next time we're talking about historical topics.
Okay, very good. I like that.
Thank you so much.
When you get hungry, remember Barbecue Bob.
Location is 409 Fresno Street on the corner of Fresno and Jones on the Golden West side of Fresno. The phone number is 559-375-1259, and we invite you to come out. You will not be disappointed.